Hi there, I'm Wendy and welcome to my channel where I share knitting and crochet tutorial videos for my projects and techniques. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how I work a stretchy cast off when I've been knitting a 1x1 rib. Now I tend to use this cast off around the necklines of my jumpers and also around the cuffs and the hems when I'm working a top-down jumper, because it is really stretchy and is really good when you need a cast off edge with lots of give. But just before we start, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and you'll get to hear when my new videos and updates go live. And if you've enjoyed this video, it would be lovely if you gave me a thumbs up as well. But for now, we'll get straight on with working this stretchy cast off. Just taking a look at these two pieces of ribbing here, I've knitted them both as a knit one purl one rib, so that's a 1x1 rib, and I've cast off the blue one with a regular cast off, so that's knit one purl one and pass the slip stitch over, and then it's got a reasonable amount of stretch to it, but the bottom edge is more flexible than the top edge, so if I pull it out, the top edge is tighter. And then if I compare that to the pink one where I've used the stretchy cast off, it's got lots of stretch. I can pull it right out. And the top edge is as stretchy as the bottom edge. So as well as using this for necklines, cuffs and the lower edges of jumpers, I also use it when I'm casting off toe-up socks as well. So to work this cast off, I'm going to cast off in pattern. So I'm going to be casting off, knitting one stitch and then purling the next as they appear. But apart from the first stitch, I'm going to be adding in a yarn over before each stitch. And that will give me the extra bit of give to make my cast off edge quite stretchy. So I'm going to knit my first stitch as normal. And now I'm ready to do a purl. So I'm going to bring my yarn to the front, and then before I make that purl stitch, I'm going to take my yarn up, over and down and all the way around the needle and back to the front. So I've made a complete yarn over around that right hand needle. Now I'm going to make my purl stitch, and I've got 3 stitches on my right hand needle. I'm going to ignore the first stitch nearest the tip, and then I'm going to pick up the second stitch and hook it over the tip of the needle, and then again with the next stitch, and I've cast off 1 stitch, but I've also given it a little cap that gives it more flexibility. So my next stitch is a knit stitch, and I'm going to take my yarn to the back as I would normally do to make my rib, and then I'm going to bring it up the back, over the top and down the front and all the way around to the back again, and I've made a complete yarn over there. Now I can knit my knit stitch, and again I've got 3 stitches on my right hand needle. So I'm going to pick up the second stitch from the tip of the needle and pass it over the first and over the tip of my needle. Then I'm going to pick up the next stitch and pass it over and bring it over the tip of the needle, and I've cast off 2 stitches. So my next stitch is a purl stitch, so I'm going to bring my yarn to the front as if I was to purl, and then I'm going to make that complete yarn over, taking my yarn up the front, over the top, down the back and back round to the front, and I've made a complete yarn over. Now I can make my purl stitch, and I've got 3 stitches on my needle, so I ignore that first stitch, and then I'm going to pick up the second stitch from the tip of the needle, pass it over the first stitch and over the tip of the needle, and do the same with the next stitch. And then my next stitch is a knit stitch, so I'm going to take my yarn to the back of my work, then bring it up the back, over the top and down the front and to the back again. So I've made this complete yarn over, knit my stitch, and I've got 3 stitches on my needle. Then I ignore the first stitch, pick up the second stitch from the tip of the needle, pass that stitch over the first stitch and over the tip of the needle, and then do the same with the next stitch. then I'm back to a purl. So I'll bring my yarn to the front, make my yarn over, taking it up the top, over, down the back and round to the front again. Make my purl stitch. I've got 3 stitches on my needle, miss the first stitch, pick up the second stitch, pass it over the tip of the needle and repeat with the next stitch. And this is how I continue to make the stretchy cast off. So I'm just going to continue in this manner, making a yarn over before each stitch and then passing 2 stitches over the tip of my needle. And I'll then meet you when I get to the end and we can take a look at this cast off. And then when I get to the end, I just cut my yarn as normal and then take that round my needle once more and just pull that through and flick off and fasten off. And you can see that I now have a really stretchy little cast off. So I hope you found this video useful and it's given you another option for a cast off edge when you need that bit of stretch. And so for now, I'll just say thanks for joining me, happy knitting, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!